and good afternoon to all surveyors, ambassadors of MSQH. Welcome to this webinar that we have set up for all of you as an update for all surveyors for the coming year, for 2020. Thank you very much for taking your time to be with us today. Hopefully we'll make it through for 1 hour. Now, I will start with the first session, the importance of survey. I've got with me Dr. Selahuddeen, one of the most senior, quite a very senior chief surveyor, was formerly the State Health Director of Johor, who will share with us on the importance of survey report. He has been our surveyor for more than 15 years, and he has done quite a number of surveys. So I hope you will be able to benefit from this, and hopefully it will also improve the report that we are receiving for on-site surveys. Over to you, Dr. Selahuddeen.
Thank you, Prof. Gadar. Assalamualaikum, and a very good afternoon to all fellow surveyors. And let me just get straight to the point on the importance of survey report. So basically, I was just like any one of you when it comes to survey report. We'll try to complete the rating and we'll try to complete the report before we go off after the whole survey is completed, that is within the 3 days. So we will try to finish it off. And we will send it to the MSQH secretary within the time frame required. And then hopefully the MSQH secretary together with the chief surveyor will sort out the findings and come out with a quality report. But we have to bear in mind that when we do not provide a good report, we do not provide good input, the resulting report would be less meaningful, not only for the MSQH, for the councillors, but also for the facility concerned. When we try to rush through to complete the report, we might leave out important facts regarding the services in the facility. Our wordings might not be right. Our wordings might not be of the findings in the facilities. And sometimes most of us tend to use negative note, since it's easier to give a negative statement. There are a number of reports in which it's stated there is no evidence of this and no evidence of that. By doing that, we do not achieve much, but we would rather be writing. I'm just giving you an example. The continuity of care during transferring of patients need to be documented for future references and in participation of any issues brought up later by the patient or the next of kin. Now, in this note, if you look at the statements given, rather than there is no evidence of the documentation of care during transportation of patient, if we write in a positive note, the facility would be more appreciative of the report. Again, our report needs to be educative on especially on the interpretation of these standards, and it enables the facility to improve their services. And at the same time, we are also evaluating the services in the facility. So our report should comprise all these 3 elements. And always ask yourself before submitting whether you have fulfilled these objectives for the report to be worthy. The MSQH have template made easy for surveyors to follow, but what happens is that it's supposed to be an explanatory point form. But what happens is that it is so short that it doesn't make sense at all sometimes. So if it is in the point form, we have to explain why the particular facilities did not fulfill that criteria. And basically, when I'm required to do executive summary, what I will do is that I will note the commendation, the opportunity for improvement and recommendation given by the surveyors during the summation. And I will start writing my executive summary during that time, you see. But what I found out later was that in that standard summary, the things which we discussed during the summation is not in the service standards. So this makes things more difficult. Whatever it is, I would like to share with you two occasions in which it really strikes me the importance of our survey report. The first thing was that I came across a cabinet inquiry report quoting the MSQH surveyors report. In other words, a cabinet has appointed an inquiry committee, and this inquiry committee, going through an incident in one particular hospital, quoted the MSQH surveyors report. And I can't really give you much information on the cabinet inquiry since it is still under the Official Secrets Act. Although the last cabinet meeting decided to make it public, but because of some other things, the ministry have not declassified that inquiry report. But basically, the inquiry committee quoted the findings of the surveyors a year before the incident occurred, stating that the facility needs to address the safety issues to make the facility a better and a safer place to deliver services. So although it was in a very positive note, but that report was very significant. And there was another event which really made me think about our surveyor's report was that when we were supposed, before sending the report to the councillors, a committee is supposed to, or a group is supposed to look through and rectify the whatever the report lacks. But bearing in mind the councillors, they are not present during the surveys. So they are very much dependent on our report. And if our report is not representative of the service provided in that facility, you see, this project manager group, they cannot add on something which you have not written in the survey report. So how is it they are going to provide a good report if we don't give a good input? So fellow surveyors, we need to improve our report writing so that we are able to provide the facility with a quality report. Let me tell you that this report has been used for many other purposes. It has been used to improve shortcomings in the facilities. It has been used to improve on service delivery. It has been used to request budget. And all this is done if a proper report is being provided. Justifications in the report needs to be correct. We cannot just have a simple report and hope that the report can be used to improve on the service delivery or to request for budget. Bearing in mind, a peer review report is more significant than any other quality improvement report, as we are and that report it carries more weight than any other quality report. And I've seen some old facilities which aging system, has been provided the budget because we are a neutral surveyor. We are not surveying for the concession company. We are not surveying for any other body, but we are surveying for the purpose of improving the services in that particular. But again, it has to be a good report. It can't just be a simple report for the authorities to take action on that. And it can also be used for medical legal purpose. And bear in mind, if it's going to be used for medical legal purpose and we don't provide a good report, that would not be proper for us. The report is also used to apply for certain benefits consequent to the accreditation being provided later on. So I would like just to share a while, Prof, with how to do a good report. Now, a good report takes a few steps backwards and a few steps forward for you to have a good report. During the pre-survey, many surveyors, they have to know about the facility before they come for their survey. Some of the surveyors do not go through the profile of the facility which they are going to survey. And it's very difficult because if you are going to go through during the survey, the time would be very restricted and you won't be able to go through. And you have to read through the last survey report, especially those with the NC or PC or the ratings below 3, in order for you to gauge how the facility was providing the service previously. And discuss during the pre-survey night meeting issues of the past and what needs to be stressed upon. But this is very simple. Pre-survey usually takes only a few hours. It doesn't go beyond 10 o'clock since it's just day 0 before our survey. But this needs to be done. Then you have a rough idea of the services provided in that particular facility. And during survey, be a surveyor and not an auditor. Now, always remember, some of the surveyors, they tend to be auditors. They are actually surveyors, but they have to follow the 3 E's, is the MSQH has always been stressing on the part on enabling and the part on educating, other than evaluating. And assess the practice or evidence of the particular practice and not only documentation. I'll give you an example. We go through the minutes of meeting in the department, but minutes of meeting in some of the departments is very nice. But if you go through the minutes of the meeting, some of the meetings are copy and paste. They don't have much difference. And some of the meetings is not being carried forward. The minutes of the meeting is not being carried forward. So again, we have to look for evidence of practice. Privileging rights, whether the particular doctors have been given that privilege. You have to go through the OT notes to see for the evidence. Then, you see, as if you are a good surveyor, you'll be able to detect all these and you are able to write a good survey report. Do not worry if you are being given a service which you have not done before, because the principles is basically the same. And if you follow the principles, you'll be fine. Remember, I had a surveyor who was very hesitating to do a survey. The reason being, he said it seems to be a fault-finding exercise. Again, this is not a fault-finding. We are trying to enable the facility to improve on the standard practice and to improve on service delivery. Remember that it is not a fault-finding exercise. You have to be well versed with the interpretation of the criteria in standards, especially the new surveyors. You have to know what you are looking for, what evidence you are looking for when you try to interpret the criteria in the standards. The survey is a peer review based on standards outlined by MSQH and not what is practiced in the surveyor's facility. This is another point of concern. Some of the surveyors come from a particular facility and they try to compare their practice with the practice of the facility which we are surveying. That shouldn't be the way. The surveyor is supposed to compare what is being practiced with the standards outlined by the MSQH. Interreactive discussion with all surveyors during makan break. You know, we have been fed for 6 times in a day, but make full use of this break, and we have to discuss. And we have to discuss during the night so that we can have a cohesive and a concentrated report rather than a very silo report. Do not be afraid to bring up issues and doubt with your surveyors or with the chief surveyors. Do not discuss in isolation with one surveyor, but discuss it as a group. More information could be gathered by the surveyor when we discuss it as a group. Make use of the night survey according to your standard survey. A lot of information could be accessed during the night survey, especially in places like emergency department. How do they tackle with the influx of patients at night? What type of, how do they really follow the policies in a pharmacy? Do they have 2% in the pharmacy, or did they have only one? The nursing passing over, security and environment, many more specific issues can be looked into during the night surveys. Although it is just 1 hour, we would be able to gather evidence of practice. The other point which I would like to bring is during the summation. There's a reason why we rehearse during the summation. It's not only for the time which we have been allocated, but it is to ensure that we have a consolidated and a cohesive summation. It is not only for timing, but also to be meaningful for the audience, and be involved actively during the rehearsal, and be generous in your comments during the rehearsals, so that the surveyors will be presented as one group and we will be presenting as one group. There shouldn't be any repetitions of issues, no confrontational issues. And remember, we are a cohesive team of competent surveyors, and we are there to help the facility to improve quality service delivery. And during the real summation, please keep to what has been discussed and agreed. Some surveyors tend to add on a lot of other things which was not discussed during rehearsal, and this will invite problems. And again, during voting, make sure you have the ratings and don't criteria which needs to be downgraded. Some surveyors, I've noted that they bring up a lot of issues, and based on these consensus, the fellow surveyors decide on a rating to be given. But later on in the report, in the summary report, none of the downgraded criteria is reflected in the rating, and the rating needs to be revised. So is this the true reflection of the facility? We have to, again, I would like to stress that our report needs to reflect the truth about the facility. We need to help the facility to improve the services. A number of times, the summation report is not reflective of the situation in the facilities. Findings were not reflected in the criteria standards. The criteria standard would be of something, and the comment would be something of different. Just imagine if this particular report is being sent to the surveyors or even to the facility, it wouldn't look good on us who has made the report. A good report would actually help the facility to procure equipments, to upgrade aging facility, getting optimal staffing, providing safe and quality services. Believe me, we have used this survey for this purpose. Some of the hospitals have been able to get money, to get budget, to improve their services. If you don't believe me, I would personally tell you which are the facilities which have been able to get that. But a poor quality report would be kept in the cupboard, and this wouldn't help the facility to improve things in the particular hospital. So the way forward, Prof, I'm just going to complete the way forward is we need to make a serious effort to improve on our report writing. This need to be on positive note, and we have to help. It is very easy now. The report is just commendation, opportunity for improvement, a recommendation, and what needs to be done, the ratings. It's very easy report. It has been simplified, but it has to make sense. Remember, we are not only evaluating the standards in the facility, but we are also enabling them to improve on quality and safe health care delivery. With our experience and as their peers, we are educating them and we are not penalizing them. Please reflect the comments in the correct criteria standards. Take time to write your report. Please don't hurry on your report. You have 1 whole week to write on your report. And point form summary can be used rather than short writing. A good report will go a long way to facilitate the facility. And remember, You are all MSQH ambassadors. Thank you very much, Prof.